r/AskReddit. Sleepwalkers of Reddit? What's your most fascinating or scary sleepwalking story? I woke up early this morning on the couch after going to sleep in my bed and immediately was curious about others' experiences. I've been a chronic sleepwalker all my life, much to the behest and or entertainment of much of my family. I was about 12 and was in Canada for a skiing trip for my half-brother's birthday. We go up a few ski lifts and naturally on the very first run he falls and tears his ACL. He is promptly tobogganed to the bottom of the hill and goes through some medical procedures, the details of which I don't remember because I was 12 and felt like playing Smash Bros back in our condo. Fast forward to that night, my half-brother is sleeping on the pull-out bed and I'm resting soundly in my bed. Well, naturally, my sleepwalking habits take hold and I walk out to the area where my brother is sleeping. I then proceed to cannonball onto him, landing on the leg with his newly torn ACL. He promptly wakes up with a scream, but I'm still sound asleep at this point. Tersely, he tells me to get ice from the freezer. I comply, then return to bed where I would await his exasperated explanation of the previous night's event in the morning. The story had everything. Drama, comedy, pain, cannonballs. 9 out of 10 would read again. Coming to a theater near you. Every story should have cannonballs. Every story should have balls. Every balls should have a story. Okay, Stefan. Song of user EpicFaceplant12. I sleepwalk with a mind to kill. And there's the link in description below. There's a demon in me. He wakes while I rest. He preys upon those I hold dear in my chest. I sleepwalk with a mind to kill. And I know one day I will. I cannonballed on my brother's screwed up leg. I pointed a gun at my Uncle Greg. I set fire to my mom's bed. And I poured boiling water on my dad's head. Chorus. Oh, okay. User the People's Bard. I would very much like to partner up with you someday and make a magical music together. This is beautiful. Dude, Super Smash Bros. Is the best. What was he like in the morning? What was your reaction? I would definitely be embarrassed and feel really bad about it. Okay, someone said they can have gold. Anyway. My husband isn't a sleepwalker normally, but we'd been married just a few months when he went cold turkey off some heavy pain medication after a surgery and it caused him to sleepwalk that night. I heard metallic rattling sounds coming from the bedroom, so I went in to see what was going on. It was pitch black and I realized shortly that he was actually in the master bathroom, but again, pitch black. The light was off. I knocked on the door to ask if he was okay. After some hesitation, he replied, "Yeah." I asked if I could come in, since I was concerned he wasn't okay, having recently had surgery. He agreed, so I opened the door and turned on the light to a very curious scene. The shower curtain had been completely ripped down, breaking the rings. He'd also started taking apart the window blind from the top. I surveyed the damage incredulously. Remember, we'd only been married a few months, so I was starting to wonder what kind of psycho I'd married, and asked, "What are you doing?" He told me he needed this stuff. I asked for what, and he replied, "Because this is what Ninja Turtles are made from." And that was when I realized he was sleepwalking. How else do you want me to build a Ninja Turtle? Sounds like a great guy. Smiley face. I'm alone in the room. You actually made me laugh out loud. No. Ninja Turtles are made from guitar strings and ladders. Duh. Okay. I'm not a sleepwalker, but my husband is. I found him in the kitchen at the stove with a pot, spoon, and an unbroken egg in the pot. He was standing there naked, shaking his little bum and moving the egg around the pot. I asked what he was doing, and he whispered, "Making eggs," then walked back to bed. I have a few more stories about him sleepwalking if you are interested. That was good. Please share a few more stories. Another one was him waking me up at about 3 a.m. singing. Well, I found him in the bathtub, naked, covered in body wash, and there was no water in the tub. He informed me that I was not to disturb him while he was taking his evening bubble bath. I let him sleep there. Explaining to him what happened in the morning was awesome. He is 6'5", so he was very sore from sleeping in the tub. I feel bad about this one still. Let's see. This sounds so comical. I imagined him looking at your eyes and telling you not to disturb him while he's having some dry bath time. Pretty much how it went. I do feel terrible for letting him sleep there though. Oh, I am interested. Just posted another. Go on. Just posted another. Okay. Alright. As a kid, I used to sleep on a bunk bed type thing with a ladder. I had a dream that I was Link from Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and I was climbing the mountain. Death Mountain, I think. Anyway, when doing this in the game, you had to avoid giant boulders as they rolled down the mountain. I woke up halfway down my stairs, propped up against the wall, butt naked, and in a flood of tears. Never did finish that game. Did you always sleep naked as a kid, or did you go to bed in PJs and take them off during the dream? I don't think I ever slept naked as a kid, but discovering it as an adult was glorious. Upvote for Ocarina of Time. Heck yes. I used to sleepwalk a lot when I was a kid. My parents one time found me in the garage holding a TV remote while I was crying. Pretty sure it was because of a dream I was having. Pretty sure. Well, the reason I am pretty sure is because of the dream I mentioned. What happened was my parents left me in an orphanage. 7-year-old me didn't want to leave my parents, so I started crying and ran after them. I guess at some point in the dream, I got up, started crying, grabbed the TV remote, and went into the garage. That's my best guess, but I'll never know. They can't leave me if I take their most cherished object. Not me, but I recall a friend telling me this story about when he was younger. He used to be a chronic sleepwalker in his teens, and his parents knew, and were worried about him leaving the house and hurting himself in the process. So they decided to keep locks on all the doors that led to the outside and hide the keys somewhere. One night, he sleepwalks over to his parents' room, somehow finds the keys, and opens all the locks to the doors. Apparently, his mom found him while he was finishing up, and he turned to her and made a da 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 noise like Superman after he unlocked the last door. Fun stuff. I'm choosing to interpret that sound as the song that plays when you open a treasure chest in Zelda. A lot of Zelda references. Sleepwalker since I was about 8. 48 now. Moved to a new place that had a mirror in the hallway after you get into the apartment. Woke up in the middle of the night. No lights, just the full moon. Apparently I was standing in front of the mirror but didn't realize it. Saw my reflection and went into defensive mode. As I tried to punch the person in front of me, I quickly realized it was me. My heart was pounding. It all happened so fast. It was 3 a.m. I couldn't go back to sleep. Still have nightmares about that one. I'd crap pants if I walked out and found a person I lived with just standing in the hall looking at themselves in the mirror in the middle of the night. My wife and kids are used to it. I regularly make the circuit through the house every night. Apparently I check the locks and make sure the stove is off and grab food from the fridge to nosh on. I've woken up sitting at the table in the middle of eating a plate of food. It happens so often that it's comical. They know not to wake me up, but when I do wake up, I get to hear all the stories. Some of them are hysterical. Thankfully, I stay in the house and don't try to escape. That would be a big problem. Not me, but my ex. I woke up to her standing at and pointing out the window. She was saying, "Moo, moo, moon," over and over. So I asked her what was going on. She then turned around and pointed at me and said, "You next." She then crawled back into bed and went out. I asked what the hell was that all about, and she remembered nothing about it. The moon cows are coming. Let's call my friend Sam. Me and my buddy stayed the night in a hotel. At one point around 11 p.m. I was asleep and Sam went into the bathroom. When he finished, Sam saw me bolt out of our hotel room, go across the hall, and knock on the opposite door. He had to guide me back to the room. When he put me back to bed, Sam checked his phone, then heard, "Sam!" and looked up from his phone to me, staring at him intensely like some demon. Then I closed my eyes and went back to sleep. Sam didn't sleep well that night. Dean! Jason! Matt! Snake! Leroy! Jenkins! Sean! I love all these references. Alvin! Coral! I don't understand. Okay, someone explaining it. Not a particularly pleasant story, but when I was roughly 5 years old, I was sleepwalking but also needed to go to the toilet. After a while of wandering the house in my unconscious state, I finally went to relieve my bladder. Coming from the spare bedroom in my house, I made a wrong turn. In my house, my bathroom is directly opposite the top of the stairs, and instead of the toilet, I started urinating down the stairs. This awakened my disgusted parents, which led to weeks of me being mildly made fun of by my parents, who afterwards thought it was funny. I have never sleepwalked since. TLDR, I peed downstairs and ruined a carpet. My brother also used to do this. One night he walked around the house, finally stopped by my dad's bed, and proceeded to pee everywhere. My dad was screaming at him to stop the whole time. Lol, no offense. But I'm with your parents on the laugh factor here. I think it's hilarious. I'm just surprised I didn't get killed for doing it. I was in university and living in a dorm at the time. The weather was very hot and there was no air conditioning, so I went to sleep in the naked. Partway through the night, I woke up in the hallway, walking back to my room from the washroom. My first thought, hey, I sleepwalked to the washroom rather than wetting the bed. Bonus! My second thought, oh crap, I went to sleep naked. So I looked down and I'm fully clothed. Fairly complicated clothing too. I'd put on underwear and a bra, dress pants with a built-in belt, done up properly, and a blouse, buttoned up properly. I was wearing strappy sandals that were done up properly and symmetrically, each strap on the same hole on each side, and I'd even put on my glasses, which don't always do to go to the washroom even when I'm awake. I changed into my bathing suit once and walked down to my mom's apartment pool, woke up as soon as I touched the water, was very confused. I've told this story before, but my cousin is a notorious sleepwalker. Once in a while, his older brother and dad were working on the roof, and he was having a nap. He wound up climbing out the window and clambered onto the roof with them. As they asked him what he was doing, he just turned and jumped off the roof, 2 stories, and landed on the roof of the family car. He then ran around the car, screaming at the top of his lungs that demons were chasing him. Fun part of the story was it was on 6/6 of 06. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you enjoyed the content, be sure to leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe as well for more Reddit stories like this. Until next time.